Bacon Overlord here. Hey everyone, today in this video I'm just going to talk about some games I've been playing recently. Some old, some new, well kinda new. There hasn't been that many new workout videos or rhythm games. Since my last upload, I think there's only been like 2 really good ones that have come out. So this will cover some other games I picked up that are old or kind of old, and some of the newer games that are out there right now. So if you're bored of all the games in your current library and you need a new motivation to work out, try out new games. This video might help you out. The first game on the list is GeoBoxer. I bought this game from the Steam store when it came out because it was on sale for $2.99. So I was like, okay, let's give this one a shot. It's very similar to Punch Fit in a way, but the punch pads are spread out a little more. The game takes place in a futuristic, neon-lit VR world. Blue and red orbs fly towards you and land in designated spots, or punch pads, or whatever they're called. When they reach the target, you punch them using the glove that matches the color. So you hit it with your blue glove if it's blue, or you hit it with the red glove if the orb is red. The background consists of dark tones and vibrant neon outlines, which screams high energy. Well, maybe. At first the game felt overwhelming, even on normal mode, with multiple objects coming at me at once. I panicked looking around in all directions, but I gradually got used to it. With the target spread out, you have more room to move unless you're tall and have a long reach. I usually step back a little bit to see everything better, which makes me stretch further to hit the targets. The gameplay and physics have a simplistic feel to it, but the game works well. The hit detection is pretty solid, and the game just works. It works really well. One of the things I really like about this game is that it doesn't stop. Even if you miss some shots, the geospheres just stay there, and the game just slows down until you recover. I like this because you just keep moving. I hate when a game stops because you missed a few targets. Some games have fail-safe options, but some don't. For workout purposes, I feel like games should just keep going. I don't want to stop every 30 seconds because I suck. It just defeats the purpose of a workout. It just stalls more. Just keep going and punish me later. This game also has a leaderboard, so I'm assuming that it's based on how fast you finish the song. But to be quite honest, I'm not sure how their scoring system works. I generally don't really pay that much attention to stuff like that. Just get me in the game and let me work out. The music in the game is your regular run-of-the-mill songs you get from independent games, so don't expect any mainstream music like top 40 songs, but it does have, according to their description, 100 songs. The regular price on the game is $4.99, so definitely worth the price. The music is just okay. It's mostly a bunch of cyberpunk and rave music from what I can tell. I haven't really looked at the entire list yet, but for the most part, that's what it has. Next game on the list is React Pro. There isn't much to say here because the game is pretty straightforward. Hit the targets when they light up. If you see one with a bomb, don't hit it or it's game over. The levels are short, but this game aims to test your reflexes. It helps you focus and build speed because you hit all the targets before the time runs out. It was a little frustrating at first because I struggled to get past the 3rd level, but with a little practice you'll eventually pass it. It does get a little bit more interesting as you move along because the objects start moving. This game is free, but you can purchase extra levels if you happen to like the game. I'm still working on getting past the free levels. The target placements can get interesting because in some instances the targets move around. They can move around in circles in different directions, so that's kind of interesting. And you can play this game in mixed reality. You just have to build your own walls, set up your play space, etc. The only thing I hate about this game is that some of the levels are short. You don't have many options here. You can't set the level of difficulty, which is a huge bummer for me. For some of you it might not be, but for me it was. Next game I want to cover is Everslaught. If you like hack and slash games, then this is a good game to try out. I didn't get it right away when it came out because I thought I would play it for a week or two and then shelve it. But then I saw it had a free trial many months later, or possibly a year or two later, recently, on the Quest Store, and it went down in price. So I downloaded it, tried it out, and I ended up buying it. This game has an ancient feel to it, but with high-tech weaponry, some steampunk elements, from what I can tell. It's really hard to describe it, but it's an interesting mix. It's an action-packed roguelike game that combines fast-paced combat, exploration, and some RPG elements. This game has a great mixture of melee and ranged weapons, but I try to stick with using melee weapons just because it works you out a bit more. As you progress, you collect loot, upgrade your character, and unlock new abilities, making it feel fresh and intense. I'm not gonna lie, it does tend to get repetitive, so it's not really a game I play on a weekly basis, but I do go back to it every now and then, mostly at times when I can't figure out what to play. But yeah, when I first got the game, I played it on a daily basis for about 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. The graphics are pretty good. The enemies seem somewhat generic at times, but the bosses they look pretty cool. They look pretty awesome. The combat physics feel nice and everything flows smoothly. And for the price, I felt it was worth it. The game is $6.99 on the Quest Store, but on PC it's $19.99. I did think about getting it on PC because the graphics are better, but I just settled for the Quest version. I think either way, I would have just played it the same amount of time as I do now. The next game on the blog is one that has been talked about quite a bit. It's Fitness Fables. Mostly all positive feedback. So Fitness Fables is a fantasy-themed VR fitness game, and it's probably the closest thing we have so far to Ring Fit Adventures for the Nintendo Switch. It is similar in some ways, and this is probably the closest we'll get to it in the near future, most likely. Many YouTubers gave it good reviews, and the public at large did as well, although some people felt the overall theme was a little bit aimed towards children, which I can kind of see. Which, yeah, it kind of does look like it has a childlike theme, but it's alright. It doesn't bother me a bit. So this game has a little bit of everything. You can paddle a raft with your arms, either one arm or two arms at times. Swing your arms back and forth as you ski and squat. You do some archery. You play tennis. You punch and dodge objects. There's also a bit of climbing. It's mostly a lot of arm movements, but has a lot of squat-based exercises as well. So it's fair to say that this game provides a wide range of motion. There's a lot you can do here as you progress through the story-driven game. There's bosses that you defeat in order to advance as well. The game also tracks your progress, like calories burned and how much distance you cover. And for the most part, you're traveling around in like a raft type vehicle, or it's like some sort of glider. It's hard to tell what it is. Or maybe both. It's a raft slash glider. Still pretty good concept overall. So I like the game a lot, especially because you switch to different exercises during the course of a level, which keeps it from getting too repetitive, and you get 5 different worlds to play in. The game has 3 levels of difficulty. I play on easy, and it's a struggle for me to put a beat down on the bosses. I'm 51 years old, so you young whippersnappers might find easy to be a breeze. This game is only available on the Quest platform. The game is $19.99, and the amount of content it has and what you can do does warrant the price, in my opinion. I do gotta say, this game does tire you out quite a bit, so it's more on the fitness side than it is on the fun side. And at times, especially when you get to a boss level, it kind of drags on. Bosses have health meters, and when you make it go down all the way to 0, the boss gets revived and gets a fresh bar. So you really don't know when that bastard will die. Time does not fly in this game, and you just want to get out of there and move to the next level already at times. So just be aware of that. For those who just want to do one form of exercise, they do have training mode levels, but they do need to be unlocked first. And I believe it's after you defeat the first boss. So in general, I like this game a lot. I play it maybe like 2 or 3 times a week. But I do gotta stress out that if you struggle to play or to commit to games that are more on the exercise side than on the fun side, then you probably shouldn't get this game. But overall, it does kill time. Some levels, it does feel like they go by fast, but sometimes they don't, to be quite honest. And it's mostly the boss levels because you don't know when it's gonna end. Up next, we have Action Resort XR. Now, this game might not be worth the price because of the amount of content they have for this game. So it might be good for some and a ripoff for others. But to say this game does not motivate you to work out, well, it worked on me. I have this game as part of my daily rotation, but I've only had this game for about 1.5 months, and it only has 4 mini games. It has a punching mitts exercise, which is always good, but your coach does not throw punches at you. You just hit the mitts with uppercuts, hooks, lefts, and right jabs. There's really no, she doesn't swing at you, so there's no dodging. It's just punching the mitts. That's pretty much it, which is odd. I've never come across that on any games that have a mid-exercise routine. Then you have this exercise level where you beat the living crap out of a banana. There's also a broccoli and a slice of pizza. This is good for stress relief. You have an unyielding banana standing firm, absorbing every relentless blow you unleash. No resistance on the banana's part. So you're free to give this goofy looking banana a severe beating. So put up your gloves and just maul it down with all your aggression to let off some steam, especially if you've had a rough day. You also have these levels where it's kind of like Beat Saber, I guess, but with batons or police clubs, whatever you call them. So you swing at these red and blue balls that pop out of these machines that look like tennis ball cannons. You know, the ones that tennis players use for training. So it's kind of interesting because you swing at the balls kind of differently. It's not really a slash movement, although at times you do slash. So this is probably the exercise routine I play the second most, but I kind of question the hit detection. It's hard to really say if I really missed the shot or it just sucks, but it still feels off for some reason. And the play is kind of simplistic. It has a simplistic feel to it. I still play it though, every now and then. Then there's this juice bar routine where you make yourself or a client, which is your coach, a healthy drink. I guess it counts as exercise since you're up and moving, so definitely better than just sitting on the couch eating chips and dip. But I'll be honest, I played it once and then never played that one again. Your job, if you choose to accept it, is to read the recipe that's on your right, grab the ingredients and throw them in the blender. Some of the fruits like the banana you have to peel, the mangoes you have to chop, the seeds you just throw them in the blender until the bar fills up. That's how you know you have enough. That's pretty much it on that one. Probably the best part of this game is that you can customize your coach, change the outfit, hairstyle, things like that, etc., etc. The game does monitor your progress, but only on a weekly basis, and you can set the level of difficulty on this game. I've only played easy, so I don't know how progressively hard it gets if you choose normal or even some of the harder level of difficulties. I bought this game at $19.99, but just noticed the price went up to $24.99, and no new content has been added or notable updates that help improve the gameplay. If this game did have updates, they were probably just bug fixes. As far as how many levels this game has, the mid exercise routine has a fair amount of levels, but the others, well, not really. You have to earn points, then spend them to unlock other levels, and this game has a leaderboard as well. I'm not gonna lie, even though it was $19.99, I do feel a bit ripped off here, but I do play the game. I still play it. But now that it's $24.99, would I buy it knowing what I know now? No, definitely not. It's a ripoff. But like I said, I do play this game, so that's good. And maybe some of you out there might like it. Next game that I've been playing recently is Shardfall. Now this game, you have to run in place. And typically, I don't like those games, but it's not like you do it the entire time. You have to run to like an opponent and then you box them. Now the fighting in this game, the boxing or fighting, whatever the heck, is pretty simplistic. So if you're looking for a thrill of the fight, or maybe like Creed, where you actually box and use strategy to beat down your opponent, you might not like this game. But if you're just in it for the exercise, then this is a good game to buy. Definitely worth the $19.99 that it's selling for. And it's available on the Quest platform. And there's been at least one update that I know of where they added a new move. They added a new boxing move. And they added new environments as well. Definitely worth the price for me. But be aware that this game is one of those games where it's more exercise and less fun. So if you don't really commit to those type of games, then you probably shouldn't buy this game. But it's all about the commitment. But it's not just punching, blocking, and dodging when you fight one of the enemies. In some cases, you do have to jump, and you can change the speed of the punches that are thrown. You can also collect awards at the end of each level, which can also help level up your character. You face different types of creatures, and at times you have to time your punches and your jumps. You don't just jump and dodge during fights. You have to do it while running in place to progress as well. You burn a lot of calories in a short amount of time. For me, when I play, I can get well over 100 beats per minute on my heart rate. I'm not gonna lie, I don't play this game every day because I get lazy, but when I do, I tend to play at least 10 minutes, and I do it towards the end of a workout because I tend to be too tired to do anything else if I were to play at the beginning of my workout. This game has some minor RPG elements similar to Fitness Fables, more or less, which will help keep you going, and has a story. But I skip the dialogue just so I can jump into the workout, so I have no idea if the story itself is a decent story or if it's just there as a placeholder. When you're fighting the enemies, even if your punches do not reach your enemy, it still registers it as a hit as long as you aim at the right spot, which is okay because when you engage an enemy, they are pretty far off and out of reach. So at first I was reaching out too much and almost fell on my face before realizing I didn't have to do that. At the same time though, it feels a bit odd. But you also have the option to bring the enemy up closer as well in the settings. You also have the option to change the time of each level if you choose the quick play option, but you have to unlock it first. The one thing that keeps me from playing this game more often than not is the running in place. My feet get sweaty, it feels like I'm gonna slip at times, and it's hard for me to keep a steady pace because of it. I also sometimes cramp up, but that might be an old man thing. Even though you're not doing it for the entire level, it does feel like it takes forever at times, but the ducking and jumping helps offset it at times. The developer also mentioned that they'll have optional DLC content released sometime in the future, but the content available at purchase is a decent amount to warrant the $20 cost. But knowing more content will be released sounds really promising, which means that they'll stay devoted to the game. And it's fair to say that this game provides a full body workout.